mate, it's Dan. Just finished the camping edit, the rough cut. If you could just try and listen to tank for me. It's a little bit like you've got to get that with
I keep having these reoccurring dreams of beautiful pine forests and big scaly carp.
Okay guys, tomorrow it will be history.
Mate, you just got the fish of most people's dreams. Yes, and she's mine. Yeah. What does that say, man?
Don't dream your life, live your dream.
Boom! That's what we do, man. Living a dream. Number four. Mental bow rattle.
Here we are again. If you ain't driving, you're tying. You excited, Al?
I'm proper excited. Like, I was just saying to you a minute ago. Yeah, for sure, every year we do this, it's always great, it's sick, but I don't know what it is about this year, but I'm really buzzing.
Super buzzing.
Yeah, got relatively organised beforehand, got caught up on things I needed to do, and yeah, just put a lot of time into planning it, so I've kind of lived it over in my head so many times now. I've been dreaming about it, thinking about it, and we're here. We're here.
On the tunnel again.
Yeah. It's going to be a big one. More countries, more places, more people, hopefully more carp. The adventure begins. Let's do this.
Let's do this, bro.
We're super styling it.
Look at the temperature, bruv. 28 degrees.
Roaster.
28. We are actually buzzing for this.
I am
Properly buzzing for this, man.
20 years.
Sundown, tunes are on, traffic's light. We're gonna go
We've had no issues so far.
No issues with traffic.
We're
early.
We're on time.
2:12 it says we're going to arrive.
Time, and in my agenda it says 2:30 arrival time. So,
Well, Alan, fingers crossed. Let's not jinx it.
yeah, we've had some bad experiences in years gone by. So far, so good.
First stop was Ostend in Belgium to meet our old friend Giovanni Van Huren.
Gio, nous arrivons. Yeah.
Yes, Gio, man. Nice to see you, bruv. You alright?
Yeah, we're right.
In a car, in Ostend, Alan Time Riggs. Deja vu, man.
Yeah, we've been here before.
Well, not like actually here, but
Oh,
yeah.
it's very...
But,
Nah, Gio's just sorting himself out. Gonna have my face painted. Yep.
You're looking forward to that,
Not having a tiger. No. No, I'm not having a flower or a butterfly. No. I'm not going for like the rainbow look. No. Getting camoed. Yep. Gio's organised for me to have my face painted.
And then like I've got to take a photograph, I think. I'm not quite sure what, but I'm sure artistic director Giovanni Van Horen will
Point you in the right direction.
Yeah, I'll just press the buttons, man.
To finally have a piece printed in Monkey Climber. I thought he would Photoshop it when he mentioned it, the concept of camo. I thought, yeah, sweet picture, take it in Photoshop. Nah, he's got,
No, you've got to do it
the
properly.
makeup artist, like.
What are you tying anyway?
Slip D.
No hesitation, mate. Not just one.
Wow, you never know.
Yeah.
Might have a productive night.
Okay, we'll follow you.
Gio took us to a nearby lake to check it out with a view to returning later to fish. But with a trip like this in May, you always run the risk that if the weather is warm, the fish could be spawning.
That is scorching, bro.
We have a problem. The fish are spawning.
Bad times.
Bad times. Well, we've arrived at our second venue of the day. This is the Monkey Climber Syndicate. Been pretty blessed to have wet a line here a couple of times before. Once with Chloe and mine, not long after she was born. Caught some bangers and yeah, stopped off here last year, I think. Nicked a nice one off the top. You've not been, have you?
I've not
First
been.
time.
No.
That's a cool little lake, small, intimate, but having just visited the water and seen them all thrashing, fingers crossed, they're not going to be doing the same here. I'm not holding my hopes too high, to be fair.
It's beautiful, Joe.
100% all down the bottom or on that tree line there.
Yeah. Why are your fingers crossed?
Double crossed, triple crossed, toes crossed. Please don't be spawning. Cross, cross, cross.
Fingers crossed, Gio. Firmly. What's that, Alan?
That's a banger. Banger.
Look at that.
Belgium. Banger.
Oh look, that's well up for a pink pop-up.
Well up for a load of rise pellet, mate. Look at them out here. There's the entire lake stock down that margin.
And they're not spawning.
No, they're not spawning. One of the greatest sights an angler will ever see. A load of carp mooching around on the windward bank,
Oh, look at
just
that.
waiting for some floaters to drift over their heads.
But before we got down to fishing, it was face painting time.
What's up, man?
Yo! Nice to meet you, bruv. Alan.
Nice to meet you. I'm Rex.
You're right.
Hi, I'm Rex.
We're on the beach, of all places, with a beer, with some lovely people, with the sun.
What are you going to do now?
This lovely lady's going to paint my face. Really excited about that. Really excited. He told me we could go carp fishing in Europe. Like, the next thing, like. Okay.
Photo shoot done, we headed straight back to the Monkey Climber Syndicate, eager to wet a line.
What a beautiful place.
Alright, see you later. What? I'm going fishing.
In the heat of the moment.
They were all over the surface earlier, and there's still a few on the surface now.
They dropped down, have they?
There's still a few. Just have to see whether they will come up for a few of Al's floaters.
I'm burning while frozen.
Bit of a shame how the light's gone a bit, isn't it?
Totally different. Not impossible, but darn sight harder than turning up with bright light and being able to see every single fish where they're moving on the nice one, actually. I had to go float fishing for probably a couple of hours, stressed myself out, got really hot and flustered, but they weren't having it, man. It's the same couple of fish going around taking the odd mixer.
yeah, I think we missed our opportunity, to be fair, but I was having such a lovely time having my face painted that by the time we got back here, the light had sort of disappeared and clouds had moved in and couldn't really find them. So yeah, just the odd fish taking the very occasional mixer. So it's just on dark now. I'm going to put a couple of bottom bait rods out for the night. Keeping it really simple. I'm going to fish both rods in the edge. Just with a little tide in that rig. The ones I was tying up earlier. Little stick to protect the hook point. And then I'm going to kick back with Gio and do this interview for Monkey Climber, and fingers crossed, should hopefully get a take at some point in the night.
In the heat of the moment, I stand still. I'm burning while frozen.
Morning now.
Morning.
Well, it rained all night.
It did.
It
It actually rained all night from 10 o'clock
yeah.
all the way through. It's been raining on and off this morning. Gloomy one.
Yeah, pretty gloomy, but... Ching.
2 orange H blocks.
Ching. That's one for me and one for Al. So we're really late.
Really late.
Really late.
We've got to get across Belgium, Holland. Do we go into Holland?
I think
We
so.
must do.
Yeah.
Then Germany to get a ferry.
So,
But yeah, let's have a look at them. I caught a koi, which is not really what you come to Belgium to catch, but I love a koi.
Yeah.
You slipped up, Mr. Koi.
Yeah, it
you
worked,
messed
didn't
up.
it?
And
It worked.
yours, wow.
Well, 1 hour it took.
Very beautiful carp.
Yeah, lucky boy.
Very
lucky
beautiful
boy.
carp.
Let's have a look at him.
Well, started with a carp.
Of course, it's what we do.
Belgian bangers. It was cute, man.
He's interesting.
He is.
He's very plump, aren't you? Very thick set. We caught one. We're late, but we caught one.
We left the Monkey Climber Syndicate behind and got on the road, heading for Denmark.
Long old drive, mate. Long old drive, but we've made it.
Belgium, Holland, Germany, and now we're on the German coast, and we're going to catch a ferry, hopefully. Change country. Denmark.
Is this the first ferry we've been on for Euro?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Today's been a great day. Today I witnessed Ollie eating McDonald's for the first time ever.
I feel a bit sick.
Aww.
But I was very
You can have a
hungry.
moan for 5 seconds, go.
McDonald's is horrible! Enough.
Yeah, we're getting on our first ferry, and it's not to be the last one of this trip actually. This one's very short, 45 minutes. We haven't had to wait around long, which is a right touch. We're going to Denmark. I've actually been to Denmark before.
Never.
Yeah, I have.
This is a new one for me.
Never been to Denmark.
Never been to Denmark.
Now, would it be cheeky if I went and did a little bit of drop shotting off the front of the boat? It's probably overstepping the mark, isn't it?
Possibly, yeah.
Let's go exploring. Starbucks. Welcome to Denmark. Yo!
We're in Denmark, bro.
So I've got us a gift out. A little mantelpiece souvenir, let's call it. This is Hans Christian Andersen. And I ain't got a clue who he is.
He's going to be our lucky charm.
He absolutely is.
Yeah, so we've got about an hour's drive.
We're going to meet up with a guy called Claus. Not met him before, but done a little bit of chatting on the phone and via email. Seems like an absolute top geezer. Certainly knows his way around a fishing rod and how to track some carp down. Lived over here all his life, caught some incredible fish, and we're going to go and spend a hopefully pleasant evening with him with the rods out, try and catch ourselves our first Danish carp. Really excited, looking forward to it. Can't wait to meet Claus and check out the surroundings.
Let's go.
Well, well, well.
Been a long down the road, but we're in Denmark.
Long day, very little sleep, poor eating, no water, but I am buzzing. We've got to Denmark. First of all, we went with Benjamin in the IKEA. He sort of brought us 5 minutes up the road to meet with Klaus. And yeah, it's everything I thought it would be. Okay, it's not quite set in a Scandinavian pine forest, but boy, is it banging. Seen a few fish, seen some mega lightly looking areas. There's some weed, there's some shallow areas, there's some deep areas. We've got about an hour before it gets totally dark, so we're going to get a few rods flicked out and see what the night brings. But it's going to be a choddy attack. It's weedy. I'm probably going to stick the waders on as well and go for a little paddle around, see if I can locate some clearer areas. Yeah, I want to catch one. We need to catch a Danish carp on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do this.
The sun was setting as we arrived for an overnighter at a large open access public water on the outskirts of Copenhagen. A beautiful mature gravel pit around 30 acres in size and lined with reed beds and snags. My carefully laid traps were sprung at first light.
Yeah, thought it was a tench. Real jagged, head shaking fight. But yeah, first carp of Denmark.
Very nice. Let's have a look at the big one.
Yeah, got here yesterday evening and see the amount of weed in the edge. And although you get a drop in a lot of places, decided I was going to fish choddies. It's safe, you know, they're always fishing for you. So yeah, 15mm white scope peck squid pop up with about 100, which is quite a lot of bait really, just trying to get a quick bite, but about 100 freebies around it. And it's gone at first light this morning.
Well, I did a fine piece of angling this morning. I had a lie-in, and while I was trying to sleep, I was rudely interrupted by my first Danish carp.
A well-deserved lie-in. Well, it didn't really happen, did it,
Didn't
mate?
really happen, not much sleeping, but
Another lovely common.
another lovely common. Not a big one, mate, but a real nice dark one. I reckon he's going to put his dorsal up as well for the pigs. Welcome to Denmark.
That is a lovely carp.
Let's go and have a look at your one, man.
What one?
Because while we were just about to photograph this, something special happened.
Big fish. Big carp. I see him. Nice mirror. Lovely mirror. I got him in here. I basically baited in the rushes with the intention being, if anything was going to come in and feed, yeah, okay, I can sit and watch bubblers, but I want to see the rushes knocking and banging. Real good indicator.
There goes another pair of trainers. Sacrifice to the cause.
Really nice one.
Yeah.
Really nice one. Oh man, sick. Thank you.
Oh, big fat mirror cod.
Big fat mirror, Denmark cod. Everyone is raving about this bait. It's in the instant action range. Not one of the high price point baits full of crazy expensive ingredients. It's the first time I've used it, but everyone's harping on and on about candy nut crush, candy nut crush, candy. Yeah, it's good. It's good. A bit of that tiger nut slush gear, a little bit of sweet corn, and just some boilies and a bit of flaked candy nut crush. What a carp. Rocked up in Denmark probably not 12 hours ago. Met up with Benjamin and Klaus. Had a lovely evening chatting with them, understanding this special place over here. And they left us to it, and yeah, we got to it. We've caught some fish, including this mega carp. Yeah, made up, fishing right in the edge. Not watching them take, but you know, proper close quarter stuff. And yeah, I'm proper made up. Really slow take, and picked the rod up. The fish was already up in the water, and almost immediately I see it sort of flank near the surface, and knew it wasn't a small common.
Big old paddle on him.
Oh, mega carp.
Get him back.
Well, just prepared another choddy. Yeah, got here last night. A lot of weed out there, so this is the rig I opted to use. And I fished all rods on this setup. Pretty simple, little light lead, boom section, normal choddy that I'd use. The main difference for me is this is a fluorocarbon leader. Well, it's actually my main line. Normally I'd use a Klingon leader here. I absolutely love it. I think when the clarity of the water is really, really clear, it does pay dividends to use fluorocarbon. So that's the only real difference to me. It's ultra heavy, down on the bottom, and yeah, a simple but very effective choddy.
Hashtag in and out.
In and out. Bye-bye Denmark. Thank you for having us.
Where are we going?
Sweden!
Ah.
Never been there.
Never been there.
Well, Denmark was good. We were here for about 18 hours.
Was it really that long? What's the time now? 3 o'clock, wow.
Yeah, Denmark was exceptionally kind to us. We both caught a carp, which was all we set out to achieve. The weather's been amazing, people have been lovely. Yeah, now we're going to go and meet Calais, and I can't remember the other lad's name, but I met these lads before. They got a successful tackle shop, proper mad keen carp anglers. So we're going to go visit them at their shop and go get the rods out this evening.
First things first, let's program the old sat nav, eh?
Where to?
Sweden. Dun, dun, dun. Ready to navigate. 75 miles.
From the outskirts of Copenhagen, it should have been a simple drive to get us to Sweden across a toll road, but the sat-nav had other ideas, and we found ourselves approaching another ferry terminal instead. We jumped on the ferry for the short hop to Sweden, but as we arrived in Sweden, things went a bit wrong.
Captain's log, start date, who gives a I'm sat here on my own because Alan didn't make it off the ferry because he didn't listen to me as usual because I'm Mr. Negative. And now we've got separated and he's left both his phones in the van, so knows where he is. No idea. I'm sat outside the ferry port. There's nothing else I can do except wait. Is there? What would you do? Drive up and down? Chance missing him? Or sit tight? I don't know. He's a I know that much.
Hi mate. Oh, it was like being a little boy lost. Like really, like no one wanted to help me.
You're safe now.
Thanks Al for rescuing me. I come down, the ferry port was empty and they just started putting the first ones on. Sweet, you can't be far, he was the last car on. Walked off and you come to that big roundabout. Yeah, no well. So I waited for about half an hour on that cycle, thinking traffic or whatever. So then I counted 8 ferries. 4 H&S, 4 Scandinavian. No Ollie. Now I'm getting cold, goose pimples. So I start trying to find a mobile. There's no public phones in Sweden, they don't have them. So I start asking all the shops, the cafes, the bakeries, no one will let me use their phone. So I go back to the Eurotunnel. Do you have loads of missed calls?
Nah.
She let me use the phone loads. Then she's convinced me you've been nicked by customs. That's the only possibility. She's like, he mustn't be your friend. I was like, he's my best friend. He's not going to have just left me. She's like, the only thing that can happen then is that customs have took him away. I was like, well, can you speak to customs for me? She spoke to customs. Customs won't disclose that sort of information. It's now like 10 to 7. She's going, where are you going to sleep? I was like, I don't know. So then I've gone and booked a hotel room, gone and used the phone, checked out.
Well, I just kept coming back there because I'm thinking, well, if he's coming out the ferry terminal as a foot passenger.
Didn't come out as a foot passenger, come out as a car.
Anyway, I'm only going to say it once. Told you.
Yeah, you did. You said you wouldn't have time.
Anyway, done.
So our delay meant that we were arriving at our first Swedish destination later than we'd hoped.
Hello, bruv. You right?
Yeah, good. And you?
Good.
Denmark
I'm alright. I've had a bad afternoon.
And what would he be driving but a Saab when in Sweden?
Drive a Swedish whip.
Calais had brought us to another public lake of around 20 acres, and being a lovely warm Friday night, it was already busy with other anglers, so swim choice was limited. As luck would have it, I actually found some carp in the snaggy margin of the closest swim to the car park. With just a few hours to nick a bite, I used the bait boat to drop a bait down the margin as stealthily as possible. Bait was simple, just some Scopex squid pellet and a little particle soaked in sweet corn extract, and a piece of heavily glugged fake corn as my hook bait. I kept my rig simple and strong too. Armorlink hook links, super sharp pinpoint Fang X hooks, and 65-pound Klingon leader.
Well, it's been a day of highs and lows, that's for sure. Yeah, mega start in Denmark, beautiful day, and then a bit of a low, getting lost just as I got off the ferry in Sweden. Big 3-hour delay, missioning around, trying to find Ollie. I've got no phones, Ollie's got all the phones, and yeah, added stress to an already exhausting day. But we're in Sweden now.
We hugged it out.
We hugged it out, man. Luckily, I got to the back of the van and Ollie didn't shout at me, and he would have been in every right to, man. We were both tired and it was hot, but no, eventually we got to Sweden after quite a significant detour, and yeah, thank you. It took us to a beautiful, beautiful lake. Seen a few fish milling around in the edge. There's some nice snags down to my left here. There were some people actually picnicking on this bench when we got here, but they were quite accommodating. Let me sort of squeeze in and drop some rods in, which was good. And there's been a few fish roll, a couple of fish roll at very long range. So yeah, we'll see. Optimistic. Got a last coffee before bed. We're gonna have a lay-in tomorrow, Al.
Yeah. Well, unless we get a first light
wake
take.
up call. Yeah, I'm not setting any alarms, let's put it like that. It's been busy up till now. Could do with a little bit of sleep, and yeah, hopefully that natural carp alarm clock won't come till about 8:30, that'd be good.
Yeah. See you in the morning, man.
Sweet. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, you seem to have doubled your money there, Al.
Another great night. So my first ever visit to Sweden, we went carp fishing, and I caught one, 2. Yeah, mad chuffed. You know, me and Ollie were discussing it last night. This one didn't look easy. Big bit of water, got here late, but with a bit of careful sort of searching out and stuff, yeah, I tracked down a few fish in the edge. Definitely young fish. The lake in question had quite a severe fish kill, so these are new introductions, but yeah, future's bright. Tactics were really simple. I did use the bait boat just because I was fishing so tight to the margin and couldn't really cast there because of the overhangs and stuff. But yeah, little drop off inlines, Armour Link hook links, Fang X hooks, and a single bit of plastic soaked in the sweet corn extract.
The only thing left to do was to reel in the last 2 rods.
Ollie's shouting at me, come on, let's go! Like, I've been waiting around. It's me faffing around, sorting out the van, big tidy up. Yeah, gone to my rods, picked the first one up, reeled it in. As I've gone to get the second one, it's actually gone. Yeah, quickly stuck it in the net and yeah, caught a lovely little mirror just before leaving.
What's the result?
Yeah, there's a chance with the way the conditions have changed. It's gone very, very dull. Temperatures dropped massively. They might start having a munch now, but as much as we could sit here all day and catch a few more fish, we've got 3 days in Sweden. I want to see as many places as possible, travel around the country, checking out loads of cool places. So we're going to say goodbye now, get on the road, we're going to go and meet a guy called Gary and see what the fishing in the northern part of Sweden has to offer.
Sweet, let's have a look at this little beauty and hit the road.
Come see! I gave him some maggots earlier. Okay. It's their first ever fishing trip with their grandson. Lovely carp. This is what I imagined the carp in Sweden to look like. How did you get on?
Ja, det var roligt. It was fun, but no fish.
No fish. Next time. Okay. Wow. So this one is a carp. He loved holding the maggots hole.
Oh, really? That's a really nice one.
Fisken.
You can touch him. He's a really, really beautiful one. We travelled all the way from England to Sweden just to catch one that looked as amazing as that. Yeah. And it's these beautiful scales we love.
He's lovely, huh? Yeah. That is why we come to Sweden.
Definitely.
For a beautiful carp like that.
Sweden.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It was our lucky day.
Oh, no. Nice to share it with you.
Thank you.
Fishing out the back of the van? Yes, please.
It's okay not to pay.
It's okay to park behind your swim. Don't be ashamed of not using a barrow and doing 3 laps of the lake in the hours of darkness and just rocking up and flicking them out. It's cool.
It's pretty cool, man. And it works. Clear as well.
Shallow.
Snaggy.
So anyway, welcome to Lilla Kärrby. This is one of the 3 public waters in Sweden. They're all pretty much free, but this one's a good one.
Are you happy, Adam? Look at him go. Too fast for my old legs.
It was great to finally meet up with Gary Benny. He's a cracking lad who was actually born in the UK but has lived in Sweden for the last decade. He works in the fishing tackle industry and he's a mad keen carp angler. He is also associated with the Swedish Carp Fishing Group and was a perfect guy to help us catch some truly special Swedish carp.
Pretty mad spot, huh?
It's a mad spot. So I walked around here earlier with a bucket of bait and they were just nutting out in the middle of these sort of sets of snags here and beyond them. I probably disturbed them quite quickly, stripped off, waded out there put a bit of bait down.
Mental spot.
That night the temperature did drop, so we lit a fire to sit around, had a beer and dined on the most delicious kebab with a stunning starry night overhead. It really was the loveliest of times.
It's a bit of a funny one, wasn't it?
Bit of a funny one, put an immense amount of effort in last night, both Ollie and I, placing our rods to the point where I used some goggles, lowered the rigs down onto little sandy areas. A lot of weed out there, but I found the odd little sandy area that had clearly been cleaned off by the fish. And yeah, got to bed early because it's an important day today. We're going somewhere really quite special, so I got an early night and woke up this morning and had a beep. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Like, you couldn't have scripted it, you know. We found the carp, positioned some decent rigs and bait in front of them. Nope, nothing. So I set to, grabbed myself a sawn off and decided to wade around the lake. And I've done that for about the last 2.5 hours. And I got one!
Yay!
I got one, yeah, he's not massive. He's still sitting out there in the net. Get a quick picture and get on the road. Yes, and she's mine. Mega. Mega, mega, mega. Oh, lovely carp out. Made up. This is why we come to Sweden. To catch a truly, truly epic carp like this. No monster, but I couldn't have wished for more.
Yes,
Alright, Sweden.
Yeah,
Sweden likes you
last
too.
carp, man. That's like what a Swedish carp looks like. He puts all his fins out and his dorsal, and he behaves, and he shows off how splendid he is, like with scales and
summed up perfectly.
Yeah, and the next one's going to be like 20 pounds, 24 pounds, 27 and 3/4, 31. Finish it on a 31. Like.
You know. And you can photograph my 44.
Boom! We left Lily Shervey behind, heading for a place called Haga. Everyone we'd spoken to on our journey knew something about it, describing it as a truly amazing place, surrounded by pine forests and containing some very special carp indeed. Neither of us could wait to see it for ourselves. It was the dream location. A lake steeped in history, having been hand dug in 1901. The current owner is a gentleman called Jonas, who had been handed down Haga from his father and his father before that. It was created as a fish farm and has been in the family's ownership for 3 generations, stocking carp since the 1930s, not only across Sweden, but also Belgium, Germany, and even in the UK, would you believe. I'd heard whispers of this incredible place, but never seen any photos. Just tales of the most stunning carp I was ever likely to see. First of all, however, we had a pit stop to make, of course, at a park lake. It was a stunning lake covered in lilies. It was going to be jungle warfare, so I drew for the 3-pound sawn off. I was going to need it to extract whatever lay beneath those dense lily pads.
Gary is like a kid at Christmas.
Mate, I love it.
And he's not even got a fishing rod in his hand.
No.
Yeah, there's a carp there.
If Carlsberg made Park Lakes, they'd make them exactly like this.
Mate, it's a nice one.
They'd make them exactly like this.
Sweet, mate. Sweet. Look at that. Uncaught Park Lake mirror.
Thank you guys. We've stopped at a supermarket, got some supplies. I was hungry, so I went in. Next thing, we're at this little Park Lake. Heaven. We're at a piece of heaven. It's in the middle of a housing estate. There's a lot of building going on one side. The lake's covered in lilies, and look at that carp. Second cast, bread bomb, big chunk of bread. You just can't go wrong. This time of the year, it's such a deadly method. Wow. Oh my days. Oh my days.
Look at the old
This is why we travelled all the way to Sweden. Well, I can't quite believe it. I've gone and caught a second one. It charged right through the pads, as to be expected. What a fish. Birra, come in for the picture, mate. Tell us the story again, that beautiful story you just told us.
Oh, it's a really nice fish. I was living very close to here before, and I think it was 15 years ago. I had a small bucket, 20 to 30 small fish like this.
No way.
Yeah.
This could be one of them.
Yeah, they were almost dying. He has never been stocked any carp before or after, only grass carp. So yeah, 25 small dying carp have been this.
Look at it, a survivor.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's
well, thank you for doing what you did 15 years ago and giving me the opportunity to come and catch it now.
It's amazing. Come on, guys.
Get him in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come in. Especially man then with the Billionaires Boy Club hoodie on.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you guys. Blown away, mate. Yeah, we've got to get back. We've got to get on the road. Hagaquin, we're going there. No one can stop telling us how amazing this place is. So yeah, pit stop carp over. Let's hit the road.
Alright, hello! I'm trying to get hold of Jonas to let us in. There we go.
It's hard to describe just how excited we were when we pulled off the main road onto that dusty dirt track that would eventually take us to Haga. I had dreamed of this place for months and months.
Are you buzzing? Are you buzzing? Are you buzzing?
I can't wait. I'll be like the whole way going, come on!
Are you buzzing?
You don't need to ask me, do ya?
That is special. That is real special.
What a place, eh?
What a mega place. Yeah, we've got a plan. We're having a Swedish feast at 8 o'clock, big barbecue. So the rest of this afternoon, or the rest of this early part of the evening, will be spent preparing all the rods. And yeah, fish right under the rod tip. We've both seen a few fish. It's definitely too coloured to do any proper stalking, but getting fish grabbing around on an area with either pellets or flaked boilie or hem, that sort of stuff. Fingers crossed, there's some mega special carp in here. Let's hope we can catch one this evening.
Oh, I'm so buzzing, man. So excited. But yeah, it's not going to be easy fishing.
Definitely
it's not
far
going to be. Yeah.
Feel the pressure a little bit on your shoulders, man.
Really do. Yeah.
And if nothing else, we're going to get properly fed. So
yeah, could do with some nice food.
Well, it's going to be every man for himself for a few hours. Because Al's going to get his rods out and I'm going to get my rods out. This is a special place.
Got to do it, man. Got to work hard now. Proper graft.
Can't waste the opportunity. Special country. We love Sweden. Go get 'em, Al. What a place. Let's get some rigs tied. Get on it. Oh, Yoda. Oh, yeah.
That was a bit.
That is what I'm talking about.
Real stick.
Yeah, boy. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
I've just got back into my swim after the most fantastic dinner. Lovely glass of red wine, yeah, it was bang. And I'm round here now, been totally quiet, whispering. You can't hear anything other than the boys on the other side still having a social. The loudest noises I've heard are bats twanging my line and mosquitoes buzzing around your head. There's definitely a few fish out in front of me. I flicked a couple of jollies out. I'm going to just keep disturbance to an absolute minimum and cross my fingers I'll get a take through the night. I really want to catch, I always want to catch one, but I really want to catch one from here. It's a special place. I've never really fished anywhere like it, not somewhere so much in the wilderness, in a forest. Even if you walk close to the margins, you know, they're all suspended marsh and reed beds, and it's just sending tremors all the time. They definitely know we're here already, and it's going to be a hard task to get one, but you know, let's see what happens through the night. As soon as first light comes around 4:30, I'm going to be up fishing a float and just a couple of grains of corn or half a boilie trying to get one that way. But yeah, I'm not going to rest until I've got one in the back of my net. I really want to catch one of these incredible Swedish carp. Let's see what happens tonight. Good luck, mate. Thanks, all. You too. Cheers, bro.
Not like me. I don't want to chat away during the fight.
I lost one this morning, I told you earlier, didn't I? Yeah. Yes. Another rod's gone. There. Well done, mate.
strange fight and a strange netting.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, mate, very much. This guy, this fishery is really something special.
Oh my word.
Well, what a fish. What a morning. This was the first one I landed, and yeah, what a mega carp. To be fair, they're all stunning, but yeah, this is what Sweden's all about.
Yeah, man.
What a trip, what a place, what a country, what a carp. Bright white one, in amongst the silt and all the debris that's built up over 100 years? Yeah. 100 years of silt debris. So a little light lead, white Scopex squid pop up with about 15, 20 sort of natural coloured Scopex squid hook baits. And yeah, it's melted off and it's mega fight. Give me the right run around. There's a big stone it kept trying to get out around the back of, but yeah, got her. Got her.
Swedish gold.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, man.
Let's have a look at number 2. Even when they're not scaly,
they're still amazing.
Still scaly.
He said as we were driving down the gravel track to get here about a dream I've been having over and over again of pine forests and carp that looked exactly like this. Peace and quiet, just the birds singing, and then out of nowhere you get a mad take. Yeah. This is what I dreamt Sweden would be like. Oh, I really wanted to go. What's happening, oh?
My heart's in my mouth, man. I'm attached to a carp. I didn't put the rods out till real late last night, man. 2 o'clock, this is one of the last ones I put out. Literally here, mate. Just here. Right in the edge.
Yes!
It's no monster, but man, it's a fish of stature. We're leaving Sweden today, so I had one chance really to catch one. And of
course you caught one!
Yeah, well, you know, one rod in the edge, a couple of rods in the edge, but beautiful fish. My first Swedish carp.
Boom!
Thank you.
No, mate. Oh, Alan, good gone, mate.
It's incredible, yeah. Look at that. Oh! That's a crazy linear.
I'm having a lovely line, mate.
I've deliberately stayed well away from this corner because I thought when the sun came round they might get in here, and they have. Had absolute one time tonight.
Oh, that's a good fish, mate.
That's a really, really.
That is a big
dark
fish,
one.
mate.
So scaly.
Fully.
I know that feeling, mate. I know what you're experiencing right now.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a mate.
Now that's why you came to Sweden.
Mate, you just got the fish of most people's dreams. That is the Haga Fully. Congrats, man. That is a proper kipper. Look at that.
Only one is one Swedish carp, but I've been gifted with a bonus one.
What's the carp that is?
Yeah, mate, no one's saying a word. It's like
everyone's
deadly
just dead.
silent.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to catch a carp from Sweden. I couldn't have hoped to catch a better one than that. That's incredible. Thank you, Jonas.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, buddy. It's not the big one, is it?
I don't think it's £30, maybe £28,
Yeah.
27, £28. But it's not what's important. Look at this, that's what's important.
You haven't weighed one.
It's not what it's about.
Friendship, good steak, beautiful pine forest,
And nice carp.
mega carp. Yay! Boom! Boom!
Big ups.
Happy days,
Good
mate.
team effort.
Good work.
Sweden.
Sweden! S K R Karlskrona, the bottom one, Blekinge.
Yeah.
That one.
Stay together on the ferry.
I'm getting one of them kiddie harness things.
Elastic.
And a yellow vest.
I'm here.
Be bored.
If I'm alone, please call this number. Ollie Davis.
Oh man.
Alright guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Big up.
Thank
Big
you.
up, man.
Lovely to meet you all, and thanks for your hospitality.
Yeah.
See you soon, man.
Stay safe.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
Jonas.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy.
Bye,
Bye-bye. Oh, that was so much fun. Such lovely people. I know you don't want to leave,
Oh man. I
really
loved
don't
it.
want to leave.
Kind, well
Yeah.
angled, man. You've done well to
No,
catch
we
it.
both done well. We
Big
both
ups,
done
man.
well. It's not an easy lake. The boys have been saying that, to be fair, they can't quite still believe it themselves. You know, a bite or two would have been good going, but 5 bites,
Yeah.
more fish landed. Yeah, worked at it, grafted.
6 bites.
6 bites.
6 bites,
5 landed. Yeah, that's really, 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 really good going. And we've not even been here 24 hours.
Well, we fished for 12 hours pretty much, didn't we?
Yeah, so yeah, quick in and out session here. The previous session to that was amazing, little park lake. Well, it's just all been amazing. Meeting up with Kalle in the first place. Yeah, in and out, Sweden. Sweden.
Sweden. Let's hit the road.
Big ups, bye-bye.
Latest Gary, latest Chris.
See you, boys.
Bye, boys.
There they go. Into the next leg.
On our way to Poland.
Yeah, bye-bye Sweden. Thank you for having us. Hope to see you again at some point in the not too distant future, because you're amazing.
We love Sweden.
But yeah, off to Poland now. Get a good night's sleep on the ferry tonight, some grub. Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
And wake up in the morning on the other side of the Baltic Sea.
Well, we definitely need a souvenir, that's for sure.
He could be a contender.
Oh, I quite like him.
Beds. Yes.
Night, Alan.
Night, mate. I ain't gonna see the end of this film. No chance.
Thanks for getting us there safely.
And letting us have a little kip as well.
Yeah, that was nice. And a shower, and a shave.
Oh, miffit and a steak.
And a steak. Didn't expect that.
Nah.
Didn't quite make it to the nightclub, but...
I did, I went in through...
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you really?
I was trying to get back into the ferry.
What were they playing?
I went through this door, and this alarm went off, like... Woo, 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 woo. And I felt like I could hear loads of people laughing at that. So I quickly went out the door again.
Was it the nightclub?
It was the nightclub, yeah. I think I went in without paying.
Oh.
But I went straight out again and nobody told me off, so... If you ain't driving...
Good time. Just preparing a load more bottom bait rigs. Yeah, prepare a few of these, and I'm going to do some Ronnie rigs, and then I'm going to do some choddies, and then we're going fishing. We've got about 3 hours left to drive. No, that's a good few rigs. There's one, man.
Yes, bruv.
Yo!
Where are we going?
I'm standing just next to this building.
Okay,
let's find out.
Our first stop in Poland was to meet up with Pavel. He works for Nash in Poland, but he's also become a very good friend. Like a lot of the fellow anglers that I work with, we don't often get the opportunity to go fishing. So I was buzzing at the prospect of angling with him in his home country of Poland.
Cheetos ketchup. Lovely time. Nice one, pal.
We headed to the Polish capital, Warsaw, to meet another good friend, Carlo, who is also part of the Polish Nash team. Carlo had gone above and beyond the call of duty, and after liaising with the government, local authorities and even the police, he had managed to secure us a once-in-a-lifetime fishing opportunity. We had been granted unprecedented permission to fish in the gardens of the Royal Baths in Warsaw. We were met by the media manager for the site, who gave us a tour and told us a bit about the history. However, it was going in one ear and coming out of the other, as all I could see were huge black shapes swimming around. He explained to us that we could fish, but under the strict conditions that we couldn't start until 10 PM when everyone had left the park, and we must be off at 4 in the morning. I was buzzing to get started.
How's your luck? You could win the lottery, or you could come to Poland and wet a line here. Just nail that one. That's taking white bits of blossom off the surface. Immense grass carp. Get some citrus, Carlo. Get some citrus. Look at this.
Beauty take drop. Oh, stop. Take the drop. Oh, okay. Powierzchni.
Look, 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 look. Bang, bang. And again, and again.
After our guided tour, we met up with an amazing guy called Andrzej, who I've met a number of times at the Polish Carp Show in Poznan. He's been fishing catch and release for carp for over 55 years in Poland and all over the world. A proper pioneering old school angler. We sat and chatted over a coffee and an ice cream, and he entertained me with his old stories. It made me reflect on the attitudes we have in the UK. It certainly bucks the stereotype that all Polish eat what they catch. This simply isn't the case, and Andrzej was a true ambassador for our sport.
So far this trip has been nothing short of remarkable. Belgium was kind to us, Denmark was incredible, Sweden blew our minds, and now we've rocked up in Poland, met up with the boys, and yeah, they've really pulled something out of the bag for us. They've managed to grant permission for us to fish the Royal Baths. Not until a little bit later on when the park quietens down a little bit, but this ain't real, you know, this is fairy tale stuff, what we're going to do later.
We've been for a walk around. It's remarkable. There's a lot of big fish just drifting underneath the surface, taking bits of white blossom off the top. And I'm counting down the hours now till I get in there myself with a bread bomb and a sawn off. And yeah, me and Ollie are hopefully going to get the brace shot of all brace shots with the most beautiful building in the background and literally shut down Poland. I cannot wait. For now though, we're following the lads. We're going to go off to a more normal park lake, do a little bit of fishing, bide the time really. It's currently 3:30, should get there about 4. Probably do 2 or 3 hours fishing and then get back over here to have a go for a true monster.
We passed a couple of hours at the park, but with nothing to show for our efforts, we were itching to get back to the baths, ready to start fishing at 10 o'clock.
Okay guys, tomorrow it will be history.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited. This is for you, it's a lot of hard work. So we really appreciate this, and I hope we can show what Poland has to offer.
Yeah, well, this is the main reason, yeah?
Yeah. Here we go. You wanted urban now?
Royalty, mate. It's beyond urban. It's royal.
So we're sat here waiting impatiently. Yeah. We want to cast out, but they won't let us until the park's closed. So yeah, Alan is also waiting impatiently. Let's have a look. He keeps texting Pal.
Waiting.
It's dark now. Not long now. Oh, Alan.
That night at the Royal Baths was truly magical. Aside from the police patrolling on their segways, we were alone with the carp. We crept around these beautiful gardens with the Royal Baths as our backdrop, trying to tempt the carp. It wasn't as easy as expected. As visible as they were during the day, these fish had only ever been fed in daylight and were elusive in the darkness. But as daylight broke, we did have reason to take a few quick photos before we slipped away.
Morning.
Tired, mate?
Very. But it was an epic night.
Epic night, yeah.
I don't regret it at all.
Back home you go. One from each lake.
Absolutely incredible night. I'm exhausted. Just enjoy every second of it.
But worth it.
Yeah, we're really lucky that we've been here tonight.
A very special opportunity.
Royal carp fishing.
Yeah, check this place out.
So this was the final fish of the session for me. None of us have been to sleep yet. Carlo tried to nick 20 minutes on a park bench, but other than that, it's been a sleepless night, but loads of fun.
Happier?
Oh mate, buzzing. Yeah, last fish for me. Just walked around all night, no sleep with the sawn off. Loved every minute of it. Thank you, Carlo. Thank you, Pavel. Amazing start to our trip in through Poland. Gonna get this one slipped back.
We've got a full 5-hour drive now, right down south to Rybnik, where we're going to meet up with Basto and Nick. Do a bit more fishing!
Ready for a 4-hour drive on no sleep, because that's how I roll.
That's how you roll. Me, on the other hand,
Fly hunter. I'll get an accident.
please don't get an accident, pal. No accidents, mate.
This is how I roll. Hopefully not.
Well, it's 10 to 8. 130 odd miles still to go to the Jungle Lake. And it's tough. It's tough, man. It's taking its toll, that sleepless night. And an early start yesterday, so Alan's driving Pal's car for him. Pal was flaking, having got up at 4 o'clock yesterday morning to come and meet us from the ferry, so yeah, we're still soldiering on. Hopefully we can get to the Jungle Lake about 10 o'clock, get a bed chair out and get some sleep, I think. And it's easy to say that, but the chances are we'll probably want to go fishing, so yeah. Eyes on the road, we're doing alright.
Whilst we were in the north of Poland, Basto and Nick were already fishing further south. They were at a place called the Jungle, a lake created from an old flooded river valley, and in true Basto and Nick style, they'd already made a great start.
We were hoping for a big one to start off, and it worked. It's only me and Nick here on this beautiful place in Poland. The boys are still somewhere up in the north. They will be here on Wednesday morning. So that leaves the two of us, Nick and me, for another 24 hours. And we're going to crash it. Next one, number 2. Yes! Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what we came for, right?
Yes.
Took a little bit of time, but it was worth the waiting, right?
20 kilo! Boom! Yes!
Need to get the rods back out.
Yeah! Second fish from last night. And a really beautiful one. We don't do rig talk. No rig talk, but this is the
You made it, pal. The path of a soldier, bruv. Soldier. Good skills, man. Good skills.
How much?
That's a nice
We didn't weigh it, but it was bigger than the common, so
20 kilos.
I would say like 21.
And how big was the common?
19 point something.
But you weighted it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we waited.
We didn't come here for the small ones.
Oh no, you never do.
Yeah, we never do.
What is it? Basto's step-by-step guide to a 20 kilo.
That's the skills. Step by step to a 25 kilo fish.
But I did join the pop-up team.
So we arrived safely at the amazing Jungle Lake, but there was no time to sleep. With some catching up to do, we unloaded the kit and set about fishing.
No, beautiful place. Really looking forward to spending the next sort of 24, 36 hours here. Jungle, man, it's like a mini rainbow. Lots and lots of islands and back channels and bays and bars and plateaus and weed, snags, and big carp. Job done. 4 rods on the money, hand placed in many instances. Super confident. I think we need to get this bright sunshine out of the way. Come 7, 8 o'clock. Mental bow battle. In hindsight, should have played this one from the bank for about a minute to get it into that bit of open water, the other side of that bar, then gone out in the boat. Because me faffing around, trying to get out there, has allowed it to go under that enormous tree. Ronnie rig, bottom lip, absolutely nailed. It's been a very productive last few hours.
Morning, pal.
I'm not in good shape for filming.
Nah. Well, we both got a bit of sleep finally last night after our sleepless night.
Passed out
completely. Yeah, well, I came past with dropping your boat and he was there with dropped his phone halfway through his text message.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hardcore, that's how we roll. Someone didn't get a lot of sleep though. Typical Blair.
I've had a little bit. Yeah, Bream moved in, started catching them, I was at my wit's end. Had to replace rods in the dark and the wind and the rain, and got my head down off and on sort of through the latter part of the night, and eventually had my first carp take, which was mad buzz. Pulled the rod nearly off the rest, landed that fish, then I landed a second carp, which is a really stunning linear. I can't wait to get it out of the second, have a proper look at it. Then I had another bream, and then I had another carp. So yeah, really productive sort of early morning feeding spell. It's gone quiet now. I've actually moved 2 rods further up the other end where I see a few fish roll. It's not a few, I see a couple of fish sort of crashing there this morning. But yeah, buzzing. Plans sort of coming together. Got a couple of areas that have done the bites now. I'll redo them today. Bid Nick and Bastille farewell, and fingers crossed they move back in this evening again.
Yeah, man. I'll try and grab on this one. I got done by one on my faithful.
You also went bream fishing though, didn't you?
I did quite a bit of bream fishing. Yeah. But unlike you, Alan, I didn't bother reeling them in, and I didn't bother replacing the rods.
I did.
But today, I'll be on it a little bit more. Anyway, morning coffee time.
Morning coffee, definitely.
You've earned that, mate.
Well, first one of the morning for me. What beautiful carp it is. So chuffed to get this first bite. Absolute screamer.
Special carp from the Jungle Lake. This one, the battle. Under the big log, the rod had to get past under the big log. Alan was soaking wet, not just because it was chucking it down with rain, because I pretty much had to put half my body under the big log.
Nothing new there then, mate.
When I got him out, he carried on fighting.
Going the extra mile as usual, well.
No, it's lovely. I'd like to say it was when the sun was coming up. It weren't, it was gloomy, but it was that time of the morning, it was all quiet, and yeah, the take sort of come a little bit out of the blue.
Love it. I love it. What a cool carp.
Be a nice one.
Boy, this put a smile on my face when it went over the net cord. Another crazy battle with it constantly trying to seek sanctuary of the snags, but yeah, proper chuffed. If I don't catch another carp for the duration of our stay in Poland, I'll leave one very, very happy man.
These are the carp that we prize so much in the UK, and here they are. Hey! Nick ran in with a nice common from the Jungle Lake. How did you catch it?
Right in front of the reeds.
Right in front of the reeds.
You can see them swimming around. The first ever Polish common carp.
What a beauty it is.
It is.
Nice, man.
And a real fighting machine. That's why we came to the Changi. Enjoying all the mosquitoes. But
and
however,
jungle monsters.
It's worth it, I would say.
What you got there, Vessel? That's a nice one.
Yeah, it's the smallest, but I would say the prettiest one so far.
Yeah, what a lovely carp, man.
Really angry, it's going to jump any second.
Awesome. Lovely boys, nice work.
Lovely times.
Lovely times.
Huge compared to the other one.
Nice done, boys.
Smashed it. Yeah.
And Pal disappears off through the jungle in search of his carp. Pal's prize.
Surprise, surprise. It's getting quite sunny now.
Yeah, temperature's really rising after a bit of a wet start this morning.
Yeah, and straight away margin rods off.
Yeah.
A screamer. Such a nice carp. I ended up at the end of the lake, untangling every single snack in the lake probably. But at the end, it went well.
I'm so glad that miserable rainy weather's passed. It was horrible this morning. Yeah, bright sunshine out now. I've come to sit in the shade, it's so warm. And just before getting my rods out for the evening and the rest of the night, I'll quickly show you what I've been up to these last sort of couple of days. I've been approaching it in two different ways. One way, fishing down the bottom of the sort of marginal shelf in the soft silt. The other way, up on the top of the shelf in maybe 2 foot of water, 3 foot of water on the hard gravel. The rig for the hard gravel is very, very short. I fish it with a drop-off inline, big heavy lead, 4, maybe even 6 ounces, and that lead will discharge straight away as soon as the fish picks it up. I want them to come straight into contact when they tension that hook link and just move it a little bit and immediately hit the lead. The other setup is the Ronnie rig, and that's a much longer rig. I'll fish that on a lead clip with a long ranger style lead. The lead will sort of plug into the silt a little bit, and this is nicely critically balanced and will just slowly sit down on top of everything. This is the Combi link. It is a coated hook link, but it's not super stiff, which means it can compensate sort of ups and downs and depressions on the bottom. So there's my 2 rigs. This is what I've had a lot of the fish on over the whole duration of this trip, really. Yes, I've used the choddy as well and some citrus, but in the grand schemes of things, if I'm in the silt, it's been a Ronnie rig. If I'm up on the gravel in the edge and stuff, I'm using a short hook link with a drop-off inline. Time to get the rods out. It's bite time, I reckon, in a couple of hours. The boys are going to come over. We're going to stick the barbecue on again. Lovely times.
just rode my way over to see the boys. Morning, boys.
Morning.
Yeah, what have you got to show for us? You had a busy morning?
Yeah, we were lucky again.
Yeah, you're
nice fish.
You're lucky too often. It's not luck when you're lucky all the time. It's
No, it is.
different. Excellent work. And these boys are off now.
What a strain of carp. Amazing. How well held vessel.
Just leaving them in the water for some.
Here we go.
Yeah. That's what you came to Poland for, eh?
Absolutely. Absolutely stunners in here. Really good fish to end this session.
Yeah. You boys have done really well, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, kind of smashed it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm really pleased with that.
And so you should be.
Yeah.
Better be quick. Lovely times.
Yeah, boys, back to the real world, huh?
Back to the real world.
Yeah, so walking around in the jungle is hard work. The best way to get about is by jungle taxi. Make sure you get a licensed driver though. There are cowboys out there. Oh, look at him, he's all tangled. Definitely filming that. Bon voyage, boys.
And so our time at the mysterious and challenging jungle lake drew to a close. And although we didn't catch any more, we had been privileged to witness some amazing fish. And some big ones too, with both Bastel and Nick catching carp weighing in excess of 20 kilos. They certainly drove home with a big smile on their faces.
Well, quiet night last night.
Deadly quiet. I can only presume the amount of boat usage on that bit of water just backed everything out of it, because I didn't do anything different. Just had a bit more time to get everything even more right, but that's fishing. We're going to Germany. We're going to Germany. We're going to go and meet up with Mark. Yeah, time to go home, man. Let's head back to the UK and do everything we can to catch a couple more fish on the way.
I am a machine.
You can do it,
I will drive to Germany.
Bye, Poland.
Quick pit stop by the side of the road.
I found a shower.
Having a nice shower, Al? Public shower, Poland style.
I needed that.
Here he is.
And a little clear, cold stream full of stream weed. That's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Right, let's get to Germany.
Let's do it.
At 10 hours, the drive from Rybnik to Cologne was the longest leg of our adventure. With enough rigs tied for the next 2 years, I caught some flies while Ollie ate up the miles on the Autobahn.
I will get you to Germany, Alan.
You nearly have. Ollie doing the windscreen, I'm giving it a little refill, and then going get the rods out for the night. Hey, yay! Are you alright, bro?
Oh,
yo! Right.
Nice to see you.
And you, bro? And you? You good?
You had a hell of a ride, huh?
Ollie has.
Wild ride, man.
He's a machine, bro. Like,
yeah?
He done all the driving.
Arriving in Cologne, we met up with German big fish angler Mark Wusum. Again, I've known Mark for a number of years and feel really privileged that he now works alongside me at Nash. He's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet, so it was great that I was finally getting to do some fishing with him.
Here he comes. Just popped into Mark's mum's house.
As fresh as it gets.
Fresh as a daisy. Big grins.
I needed that, man.
Absolutely, bro.
Thank you.
You deserve that. Right, should we go fishing? Fishing!
Fishing time.
What is it about us turning up on dusk, Al?
This has been...
Every day we turn up at this time.
Yeah, give ourselves 45 minutes to unload a van, reload a van, get to the water's edge, and then it's dark and we put our rods out. This is the story of our life. Looks amazing.
Another day, another sunset.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Another fun fair.
Otherwise, that's where they hide the whole year, but they come.
Are you having a go to hook us up?
I want to have a go, but it looks like we've got an unmanned station. So I don't know if that means help yourself or you have to wait patiently. Can I hook a duck, please?
Yeah, how much? How many?
3. Thank you.
10 ducks.
10 ducks?
10 for 3.
10 for free.
I get to get 10 ducks. I better hurry up.
Great value for money.
Hurry up. I love ornamental. Love ornamental.
What do you win?
Well, I hope I win the fairy set because I know Maya will absolutely love it.
8 points.
8 points?
Yeah.
What can I have?
You can have
Handcuffs! Handcuffs! Samurai sword for protection.
water pistol.
What about one of them air horns? Yeah, that's what I'd like. First 20 kilo fish.
Thank you. What does that say, man?
Don't dream your life, live your dream.
Boom!
That's what we do, man.
Living a dream.
Mark had brought us to a large and weedy park lake on the banks of the mighty River Rhine in the city of Cologne, where there was not only the chance of a German carp, but a big one too.
So many frogs.
As soon as you're done with the boat, I'm going to go and have a paddle myself. As much as I'd love to sit here and chat with Mark, I need to get my rods out.
Yeah. So I've got one
Listening
out.
to you is quite tricky to find anything clear. So pretty standard rig, Snowman. Big heavy lead, heavier than I'd probably normally use, 8 ounces. Pat a little bit of the main line out and then clip on a second lead. It's a couple of ounces lighter than the main lead. That'll act as my back lead. And then this float will pop all the way up to the surface. And it's going to be a case of getting straight in the boat. You know, we were talking about, like, you can't land it from the bank.
No.
All right, mate. Well, I'm going to get my other rod out quickly and
Let's do
get
it.
the boat.
Let's do it. Let's go fishing.
Got a couple of spots sorted then?
Yeah, 2 spots. One over the far bank. Quite a long way out, to be fair. Well, it seems a long way when you've only got one oar and you're paddling through thick weed, which is really nice. It's about 2 foot deep, up towards some sort of snags. And yeah, I fished a float over there, and then I found another spot in the channel, which is noticeably deeper, about 1.5 meters, maybe even a little bit more. Nowhere near as clean as the first spot, but it's clean enough to present the rig, see the rig sitting perfectly on the bottom and bait around it, and this big sort of tall weed. Basically all the way around it. It's sort of an enclosed spot, so to speak. And yeah, I'm confident, optimistic. We're running out of time, to be fair. It must be midnight plus now.
Oh god, must be about 1 o'clock. Standard 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, so yeah, a couple of rods out, 1 more to go. Got about 4 or 5 hours fishing time on them. Come on, cut up. Well, that would explain some of the reason why Ollie and I didn't catch last night. Certainly weren't through lack of trying. We're getting the rods out. They were 100% bang on. Yeah, the fish have started spawning. It's a shallow park lake. It's only to be expected. So that means reeling in and going off to find somewhere a lot deeper, because today's going to be real hot. Another 30 degreeer. We're going to need to find some deep water where they're not so interested in spawning. For now, we'll leave these ones in peace and go in search for some hungry carp. Time for a move?
Time for a move, man. Found them spawning.
Yeah.
get out of here then.
Yeah, time to leave.
Well, we're on the road again. Final day of our trip, man. Final destination. Yeah. It's quite sad, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Last night's lake was wicked, man. Just such a shame our timing was.
We were a day out.
We were a day out, mate. Yeah. And they were spawning like crazy, man.
So now we're going somewhere very deep where hopefully the water temperature won't have rose enough yet for them to spawn. I'm living a dream.
Yeah.
Driving around Europe, hunting down carp, meeting new friends, eating different food, and just
I don't know about the eating different food. I could do with a bit more of the eating. Come on, one more stop, man. Let's get a German
carp each, and we're out of here, heading back to the UK.
Really looking forward to tonight. It's deep. They haven't shown any signs of spawning whatsoever. I think it goes down to about 10 metres. I've seen the colossal grass carp that could be somewhere between 30 and 40 kilos. Made a few casts at that with a big lump of bread. Not interested. But now I'm going to get out in the boat and go and drop some rods for the evening. Get the rods out as soon as possible. Chill with the boys, have a beer. And it's time to start bidding everyone in Europe farewell and head home.
It's been an amazing week.
And some.
And some, man.
And some.
Yeah.
Come on, one more carp.
German carp, man.
Just down here, don't know if you can see that. Beautiful sandy spot. Right up against this bank of weed. I'm just going to lower that down, watch it go down on that real sandy area. Boom. Perfect. Once we had the rod sorted, we kicked back and had a takeaway and a good social with Mark and Nash German consultants Rene and Martin.
First and fried chicken of the trip.
Yeah.
Very good. Go on. There you go.
Ooh, come on, Rene. That was an absolute ripper. Yay!
Not only have we just had a beautiful KFC, got a caught carp. Thanks, boys.
That looks like quite a nice one now.
Very angry. Really angry. Beautiful carp though. Absolute stunner. Just getting to sleep. My little candle going, down on the beach, planes going overhead, frog chorus, and then boom, my bite alarm.
We made it. We did.
We boshed it. We're alive. We made it out the other side. A bit weed in it. We caught a carp in every country. First German carp, first Danish carp, first Swedish carp, first Polish carp.
Big ups, lads.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
We loaded the gear into the van for one last time and set the sat-nav for home. But not for one final stop. It was the weekend of We Are Festival and it was time to party.
Listen, this is the legend that created the 20 years of Go Away's Camo Griffin. Big up your bad self. We are Big up, you, man. Safe, brother. Have a great night. We'll be there too. Wicked. Big up, big up. Thank you.
Space between you
gotta give yourself a moment, let your body be. We gotta lose it. We gotta lose it. We gotta lose it. We gotta lose it. Make a spark, break the dark, find the light with me.
It was time for a new dream to live. Roll on Eurobanks 5.